Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Success is the New Black. I'm your host, Ashida Onrae, and we're going to be talking about our special guest that will be joining us next week. We're going to do a business rundown, and we're going to talk about why adult camping is awesome. See you in a second. Oh, we're live. Okay. I know what you mean. Hey everybody, welcome, happy Sunday to another episode of Success is the New Black. I'm your host, Ashida Onrae, and with me I have my co-host,
Hello.
Ruby.
I know, right? Every week it happens to me. I get caught up. It's Tara Johnson. How you guys doing?
So we are ready to get started. Happy Sunday again. Happy NFL week.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, we are.
And
back.
college football's back on.
Oh, you in college?
Well, I'm saying SEC football all day. Anybody else? Anybody hear me out there? I'm just saying.
I love it. I'm more pro NFL, so I can't watch college.
Oh.
I mean, I get it, but I can't watch.
I guess we cover all the bases.
We cover all the bases. So here we are again. We're going to go ahead and go into our business topics, and Tara's going to jump it off for us.
This has been an exciting week in business news, I have to say. I mean, I guess I have the good, the bad, and the ugly maybe coming up. So first, let's start with, I said let's call this the bad and the ugly. They always say do not do the crime if you can't pay the time, and I think that also means if you can't write the check, because Wells Fargo is writing a big fat check in the tune of $185 million. I did say million. That's a lot of zeros. Yeah, that's got to hurt somebody's pocket. But basically what's happening is Wells Fargo is the largest U.S. bank by stock market value, and this is really going to hit them on the bottom line. It goes back to the actions of your employees, and what regulators are speculating is that employees were trying to hit sales goals and bonuses, and what they did in order to make them was create fake accounts for customers without authorization. It's been stated that they've done everything from open fake accounts, fill out forms for customers, create fake PIN numbers, and even change round funds if necessary in order to handle these accounts. So Wells Fargo will be making restitution in the amount of $100 million to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, $35 million to the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, and $50 million to the City and County of Los Angeles. Now, Wells Fargo is saying that as far as their customers are concerned, they've already made restitution to them in the tune of $2.6 million. And it seems as if the average amount of refund for each customer was about $25 because these accounts were opened, but lo and behold, a lot of people never used them. Let's cut to the chase. Yes, $185 million is a big check, but for a company that made $23 billion last year in profit, it's not that big of a deal. But this is a PR nightmare. Call Olivia Pope because you need some help, honey. You got a scandal on your hands. So I'm just going to ask you, Ashida, throw it out to you. If you were a customer for Wells Fargo or thinking about banking, would you go to Wells Fargo at this point?
At this point, no, I will not go to Wells Fargo. And here's another take on it that is actually really important for our entrepreneurs out there. When they went ahead and opened these accounts, they went ahead and did it not only in a way that was not letting the customers know, but they were just not only opening up accounts, but they were opening up business cards.
Yeah.
They were opening up
credit cards,
lines of credit. So from an entrepreneurial standpoint, if you are banking with Wells Fargo, please check your accounts.
Yes.
Please check your business accounts, your personal accounts. Also check your IRA, if you have other accounts with them as well, because they were trying, and what's so bad about it is that 5,300
employees were eventually fired. Yeah.
But it was coming from the top.
Absolutely. And everyone, something like this happens, everyone has to be a part of it.
Right. It was coming from the top because of the pressure that they had to meet a certain quota. So with that said, you absolutely must check all your accounts. And if everything is clear, close them and go with another bank.
Yeah, the crazy thing of it is I read a lot of reports where customers were really irate because, someone would open their Wells Fargo account and go, what's that line of credit or what's that credit card? And they'd go to the bank and the bank would immediately close it. But lo and behold, there are some people who are still going to stick with Wells Fargo. It all comes down to your personal choice. I read an article with a woman in a really small town, I think in the Midwest, and she said, I hate to even comment and speak of Wells Fargo poorly. that's my bank. I've been banking there for years. Wells Fargo is one of these banks that have, grown from the little smaller banks. How they buy the community banks and the regional banks. So even though it's Wells Fargo in our mind, to them it's, well, that's Tim who I go to church with around the corner. So there are a lot of people who will be sticking with Wells Fargo, but they've taken a hit in the stock market. Their prices went down 2.4% on Friday, let alone. So I guess we'll have to see exactly what happens to Wells Fargo going forward. But with 53 fewer employees, it seems like they're trying to clean up their act, and I hope that they succeed.
I do too, but be sure to check your money.
Check your money, honey.
Always check your money.
Don't let anybody play with your dollars. That's for real.
And she just gave you some sense.
Right. So we had like the holy grail news this week. Whenever Apple opens their mouth, everyone seems to listen. I have to admit, I have two phones, and I have like, I hate to even admit to you that I have an iPhone like 5 or something, and I'm totally fine. But Apple announced that iPhone 7 is coming out and will be available September 16th. And they talked about new cameras and longer batteries. But this seems to be what everyone is really talking about is goodbye to the historic headphone jack, the way we know it as before. So iPhone 7 is going to roll out. It will not have the iPhone jack. You'll be able to use a new jack and put it into the charger, so you can't charge and use your headphones at the same time. But Apple has a solution for that too. They have the brand new AirPods, wireless, stick them in your ear. You won't get them with the iPhone 7, but you can pay $159 and buy them separately.
How much?
$159 for some wire buds. And I don't know if you've seen these, but I have to say, if it were me, I'm not a big headphone person, walking around. You know how you see everyone with their earbuds in, and I'm like, hello, people are here. I'm not a big earbud person. But if I were at the gym or something with these AirPods in or whatever, they would flip and fall right out. Because I don't see how they can fit into your ears. Maybe you guys know something that I do not. But the iPhone 7 will be available September 16th, and get your pocketbook ready because a regular iPhone 7 is $649. I said $649, and an iPhone 7 Plus is $769. And if you want those AirPods, tack on $159 for your total, bill. And don't forget those taxes, because they won't.
Right?
Are you getting a new iPhone? Are you an iPhone person?
I am not. That's not me. I'm a true entrepreneur, and when it's time for me to buy a phone, I buy the phone that's least expensive because I have to worry about my bottom line, and if it works, then I'm good.
That's how I feel. I mean, I saw people who were sitting around because they streamed their whole like thing on Wednesday, I think it was, and I saw people watching it live for 2 or 3 or 4 hours, every announcement. I guess I'm just not that tech savvy, but Apple, maybe you'll get me when the $649 becomes $349. So you let me know.
Yeah.
When the price drops. But our last piece of news, if you think of Ford, I always, I'm from the South, so when I think of Ford, I think of Chevys, I think of, trucks, I think of, flatbed trucks, but Ford wants you to think of them differently. They want you to now think of them as a mobility company. And if you ever thought that Uber and Lyft would have competition from Ford, you need to think again. Ford has now bought the shuttle service. It's a San Francisco startup company called Chariot. And what they do is they have van services, and they ride around on pre-established routes around San Francisco, and you can call the Chariot, you can catch the Chariot by using your phone. It's just like an app. It's somewhat similar to Uber and Lyft. And so Ford's going to get into this competition with Uber and Lyft using Chariot. They also just bought a new company, or they're investing in a new company called Motivate, which you can then rent a bike around San Francisco. And what Ford is saying, their CEO Mark Fields is saying, is that people are getting away from this notion that you need to own transportation. People wanted to, they want transportation when they need it and when they desire it. And besides that, millennials and everyone else is getting away from paying that car note every month. I know I wish I could. So Ford is throwing their hat into the ring, and they hope to throw this new service, and they're going to launch it in San Francisco as well as 5 other major cities. So next time you think of a rideshare program, think Uber, think Lyft, and think Ford.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much, Tara.
Thank you.
And the reason why we do the business news, why it's so important, because when you become an entrepreneur, your mindset shifts, or it should shift. And when Tara delivers the news, it's supposed to either, strike an accord like, okay, wait a minute, I got a new phone.
Right.
I may need a new phone for business, situation or whatever. It's time for you to upgrade. Or the transportation, like Tara just also mentioned, sometimes it's easier to say, you know what? I can actually take a rideshare program or do Uber, Lyft, or now Ford
Yeah,
coming
Ford.
out because it saves your bottom line and it saves money and it will help you put that money that you save on getting a car back into the business to be able to move forward. So that's the reason why we give you this business news so that you're able to kind of think about how you want to transition from where you are now or somehow help your business grow.
Yeah, and I also could commend Ford because Ford has been making automobiles since what, day one? But when you realize that your audience is changing and life is changing and times are changing, as an entrepreneur, you have to put your hat on and figure out how to change with them. So Ford is getting on board as opposed to trying to pull people back to the way things have been done previously. So that's exactly what we have to do as entrepreneurs. We have to move with the times.
Move with the times. And speaking of moving with the times, I'm going to roll back and take a little step back on how we used to roll when we were younger.
Oh.
Camping.
Oh, I love it.
I love it. Now, I attend a lot of conferences, I attend a lot of events, and I speak with entrepreneurs. And the one thing that they talk about is how burnt out they are, how frustrated they are. They are so engulfed in growing their business, they don't necessarily have time to meet with other entrepreneurs or network because network, as we talk about, is all about meeting other people who are able to assist you in other areas of your business so you can grow. We don't always know accountants. We don't always know CPAs. We don't always know attorneys and so forth. So we have to get out and network to meet these people. And so now something that's really coming up that's becoming popular with adults is camping.
Interesting.
Yes. So now they have startup camps. They have tech camps, if you're a tech person, as what you were talking about with the iPhone. They have health and wellness. Now, you also need balance, so that's really good, yoga, and so forth. But the one thing that I really found that was good for entrepreneurs is that they have these entrepreneurial camps. And you get to meet so many different people doing fun stuff. So, of course, we think we need to always network, which we do, but there's another way to network. There's another way to meet people. And it's all about having fun, from canoeing to roping to volleyball to jumping in the lake to networking with, over a hot fire with marshmallows. It's a different kind of way and you're more relaxed instead of so uptight meeting people. And you get to know other people that are attending these events, which is so important. And I just wanted to talk about a few of them that I was able to find online. The health and wellness, yoga, food and wine, arts and craft, tech, business, and startups. If you go online and you find the top 12 adult camps that you can find online, they will all pop up and you can pick each one. Now, of course, we're here in Los Angeles, California, so we have them year round because we have amazing weather. Amazing. And they have them everywhere else is also because if you like skiing, if you like all the other things, but you want to be able to network with them, if you're a more of an international travel, they have them in Bali, they have them in Switzerland. And you just have to kind of get out of, the circle of life of just doing the same thing, going through the same thing every single day. You get up, you make your coffee, you go to work, which is fine, but sometimes you need a little spark. Sometimes you need a little bit more inspiration. And meeting other people like-minded like you who can kind of inspire you to do something else, maybe something that you're a little fearful of doing in Bali, I'm all for it.
Hey, man. I like this idea a lot because so many times you've talked about it before, networking events actually intimidate a lot of people.
Yes.
Because you're going and you're getting dressed up and you're sitting down at a table, or you're walking around, in a conference room, you don't know anyone, you don't know the topic to talk about. Like, I know people who actually study up on news and go with well, here's my top five topics I'm going to talk about when I go to this networking event. Something like this puts everyone at ease. I mean, when you're canoeing or when you are skiing, who cares about what's going on in the world? We're all on vacation. We can all put our guard down and we can get to know each other. And business is so much about relationships.
Absolutely.
Much more than anything else. So if you can make that one-on-one connection while you're skiing down a slope, believe you me, by the bottom of the hill, you may have a new business deal. Who knows? I just kind of like it because it takes off the layer of businessy kind of things, and we just all become people who happen to do business. I like the idea.
I love the idea. I'm going to try it. And I'm going to talk about it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go online and look at the top 12 that I was able to find. And I'm going to go ahead and go to one.
Sign up.
I'm going to sign up and I'm going to report to you and let you know how it was. I'm really excited about this.
I like it.
I am really, really excited about it.
And if you guys have gone on any, tweet us and let us know.
Absolutely.
If you've experienced this and, what you thought about the experience.
Absolutely. And we wrapped up our business, and I just want to leave you off with our guest for next week.
Yes, we have a guest.
Lori Battle. She's the CEO founder of enterprises, including with the entities of Coaching Design by Lori, the Dream Girl Luncheon, the Dream Girl Network, and Lunch with Lori and Friends. I had the pleasure of meeting her. She will be with us on Sunday to talk about all things fabulous when it comes to business and all things not fabulous when it comes to business, because we don't want to just give off this impression that being an entrepreneur is being fun all the time.
Yeah,
because
keep it
it's
real.
not. It's work. It's hard work.
Yes, Lord.
But it's the best type of work that you would ever do. And we cannot wait to have her here next Sunday.
Yeah, I'm really excited to meet her. I did not get a chance to attend her Dream Girls Luncheon like you did, but I heard it was a hugely inspirational event, and I'm sure Lori's going to come and give us the highs and lows in her story. Don't want to miss it. It'll be great.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys for tuning in this Sunday. I'm your host, Ashida Onrae. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook at Ashida Onrae, and Instagram as well.
All right. I'm Tara Johnson. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at TJ Wagging Her Tail. And you can also catch me at wordswinewomen.com, my online women's talk show. We would love for you to stop by and say hello.
I love it. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week with Lori Battle.
Bye.
The views expressed here are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals. From executives Keven Undergaro, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio, Instagram me at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in.